I owe you all an update on the custom home build. If you're new here, we are building a new house in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, 2.5 acres. It's gonna be great, but I haven't given you all an update in quite a while because there hasn't been really much movement at all. And I will warn you, anyone that's looking into this process, building a custom home is a bit of a financial nightmare. You need a lot of cash, especially if you're like us and you're not going to sell your current home. I think in a lot of cases, you're just gonna need to sell it and go rent somewhere to really do what you want to do. We were trying to get as creative as possible here, but ultimately a few weeks ago we went and did the land walk because this is all wooded, so we were just figuring out what we want to clear, and then as of last week we have cleared the land. So you guys can see some movement here. Finally, it is looking like we are almost to the point where we will actually be able to start building. Now, I do think it is a little tacky to talk about financials on the internet, but it is such an important component of this process, and it is not talked about a lot. So I'm trying to make this series as educational as possible because I wish someone would have sat me down and explained all of this before we started this process. And I should also mention it's not only a financial investment, it is a time investment as well. There's a lot of meetings, a lot of appointments, and I have been traveling nonstop lately, so that has been a little bit complicated. Thankfully, I haven't gotten sick, and I attribute that to my PE Science reds and greens. If I had to recommend one stack, it would be this right here. It just keeps me feeling fantastic. You know, you can use code Travis to save 10%. I will not travel without that. Or my chocolate truffle protein. Of course, you need protein on the road. Tastes delicious. I just put it in baggies, put it in the shaker. Perfect. Now, I know I've talked about construction loans before, but I really want to emphasize this point. So this is much different than a traditional mortgage. When you're going to get a construction loan, what they're going to do is they are going to ultimately give you up to 80% of what the house appraises for. Now, my house did appraise for exactly what we agreed to with the builder, so the bank will give me up to 80%. So for quick, easy math, I'll have Greg put it on the screen. If this was gonna be $1 million, the bank will give me up to $800,000. Now, throughout this process, what you do is you will take draws from the bank as the build is being completed. So in a month, if they need $200,000 for lumber, I can go to the bank
and I can say, hey, I need $200,000.
They will give me that 200 grand, and they will only charge me interest throughout the build process. So that interest will build and build and build until ultimately that construction loan converts over to a traditional mortgage. Here's the thing. As we all know, interest rates are not very forgiving right now. So the bank would love to lend you that money as long as possible because they're gonna make a lot of money from that. The problem with building custom is a lot of it is out of your control. So the longer this process takes, the more in interest you're going to pay. And I am personally paying almost 6%, like 5.8% interest. I did get a really good mortgage guy. If you're in the Raleigh area and you want a recommendation, I would recommend him, but still, it goes to show you that the bank is going to win in that situation. Now, every builder is different, but you are going to get to a point where you need to close on the loan and close with the builder. So at the time of closing with my specific builder, again, a fantastic builder so far, they needed 30% down. So in theory, I could have brought 20% cash and the bank would have given me 10%. Here's the problem, is that when you close, that just starts the permitting process. So even though we closed in May, we haven't started anything besides clearing out the land. So I would have been paying interest June, July, August, September, October, all these months of just accruing and accruing and accruing. So it was very important to me to not take any bank money until we actually start building. And even then, I'm going to try to just keep putting down my own cash, even though I have the construction loan to fall back on. But depending on how long this process takes, you could pay a small fortune in interest. And the bank isn't going to present it to you like that. They present it to you like it's a good thing. Oh, you only pay interest until your house fully converts. But essentially what that means is you are going to pay a 31 or a 32-year mortgage because of all of that extra interest, and it adds up quickly. And that is why it is so important to use code Travis to save 10% on all your protein powder needs. I'm just kidding. Well, not really, but this is the best protein in the world. However, you have to be on top of your cash flow. If you ever have to travel with supplements, I promise you this is the best way to do it. You put it all inside of the shaker, then you put a lid on it, so that way when it explodes, it won't make a mess. It's so easy to carry onto the plane. Never fails. And here's the other part to this entire process is even if you pay cash for everything, you don't even have a bank, you're still building something custom. So the builders are very good at showing you what's possible. They are extremely talented, they are extremely visionary, and all of that comes at a cost. So just because you think you're going to spend the $1 million, well, inevitably through the process, you're gonna see something shiny, or you're gonna see something you didn't think of, or you're gonna wanna change, and all of this will continue to add up. And I don't want to scare you away from building custom. I just want to give you the reality of it, because it is much different than just building a traditional home. Even for like this house, you know, it was a custom home, but they gave us like 5 options. This is as custom as you want it. You can pick everything down to the pipes that are going into the walls, but you're gonna pay for it. So like I said, we're gonna try to make this as educational as possible as the process goes along. If there's anything specific you want to know, I will try to enlighten everyone. I feel like I could put on a masterclass of custom home building at this point. We are over a year in and we haven't even started building, because again, it's a process to find the piece of land, to find the builder. There's so much that goes into this, and it's exciting, it's fun, it's nerve-wracking, right? You're spending, your life savings, but ultimately, I know there's a lot of people interested in it, and if I can make that process any easier for you, I would be glad to do that. Hey Benny, how do you think the house build is going? Pretty good? I guess I should talk into the mic. Someone left a comment and said we must be house poor because we buy our food from Aldi. 1, absolutely, but 2, who doesn't love Aldi? These ribeyes are only like 17 bucks. I have no desire to spend more money on the exact same thing at a different store, although I do love Publix and Whole Foods, but Aldi just never lets us down. And as you guys know, on Saturdays, this is meal prep day. So we're gonna go ahead and cook our steaks, our burgers, our chicken, everything that we are going to need for the week, and then we will be ready and prepared. All right, good morning. Of course, Griffin is requesting pancakes, and we're gonna be making the brand new Pea Science pumpkin pancakes. These sold out in like 48 hours last time, so if they're still available, you can get these for like 13 bucks using code Travis. Pumpkin, I'm not a big pumpkin guy, but they make the perfect protein pancake consistency. These are so delicious. And of course, I will be mixing this with their protein select. It just came out as well. This wouldn't be my first choice if I was drinking it plain, but with the pancakes, incredible. My favorite part, other than the way they taste, is all you have to do is just add water and mix. It is literally perfect. You wanna come see? Okay, the people want to see you, buddy. So easy that my sous chef can make them. You ready? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Are these yummy, yummy in your tummy? How do they smell? Good. Good? Mm-hmm. You heard it here first. Okay. You want to do it? You want to help stir? Daddy will help. There we go. Oh, no daddy help. Okay, okay. You're so silly.
My turn.
Your turn. You just made a mess. All righty. Thank you. High five. Okay.
I'm done.
All done. Now I just gotta cook them. 40 grams of protein under 400 calories. It just doesn't get any better than this. And if you do follow me on TikTok, you guys might have seen the controversy over the kitchen selections that we made and the budget for the kitchen. But we do a lot of cooking, and we wanted a nice stove, so the new one is gonna have a griddle built in addition to some outdoor living or outdoor kitchen space. It's gonna be great. Now, I don't want it to sound like building a custom home is a mistake. We're still very happy that we are doing it. And in fact, if you're someone that's pretty confident you're gonna be in the same space for a very long time, you never know, right? Things happen, but we're pretty confident. I think it might be the right decision for a lot of people, because you just can't get exactly what you want any other way. Even a house like this, where again, you have selections, but I can't build a 9-car garage in a community like this. I can't even build a 5-car garage. There's certain things that are gonna be really important to you that you're not gonna have the ability to do unless you wanna do a renovation after the fact. And we're just not the I'm gonna live through renovation type of people. We like our peace. So that chaos, and obviously I'm not gonna be able to do it myself, There's a lot of pros and cons, so whatever you guys want to know in the comments, I'm always here to answer. And by the way, if you've ever built a custom home, you guys are crooked, let me know if there's anything else I should be looking out for. I would obviously love your advice and your guidance. Now, if you've made it to this point in the video, we're gonna be taking next week off, so I want everyone to wish Greg congratulations. Rich homie Greg, who has been editing my videos for, it's been like 5 or 6 years now. It's actually crazy. He's getting married this weekend, so I want everyone to give him your heartfelt congratulations. Couldn't be doing with these videos without him, that is for sure. So we're gonna take the week off to give him the week off. It's very well deserved. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.